Despite what you may think about yourself or the person you try to portray from the safety of your mom's basement, guarded by your precious keyboard and online alias, while you try feverishly to change the future of gaming, the big publishers know you better than you can imagine, and they've got the data to back it up. You're wrong, they're right, it's your fault that gaming's gotten so shitty. God damn it! God damn you all!
Here we go!
No, you fucking cuck!
Peggy 18.
You can sit there and lie to us and everyone you've ever met on Reddit about how you just love playing through and conquering games like The Witcher, BioShock, Tomb Raider, The Last of Us, Uncharted, Dark Souls, Fallout, and so on. But big companies like EA, they know the truth about who you really are. You talk a big game and act like some sort of protester, but secretly, you love non-stop multiplayer, loot grinds, and pre-ordering DLCs. Don't even try to deny it.
Wait till EA releases your compromat.
Yeah. They can see everything that you do, and
There's nothing you can do about it.
And so, yeah. Hey, dork, put down Animal Crossing Pocket Camp for 2 fucking seconds and pay attention, because you're part of the fucking problem.
Yeah, remember all the way back in October of this year?
No.
It was a long time ago.
No.
This was far before EA had revealed itself to be evil for allowing pay-to-win loot crate options to take over and ruin an otherwise perfectly decent game. It was destroying a completely separate Star Wars franchise in advance back in October. They were ahead of the game. Now, in retrospect, the dismantling of Visceral Games and the halting of their more linear Star Wars title did seem kind of fucked up at the time, but now that we know that it was most likely because they couldn't jam the same kind of loot box gambling into a game that reportedly had no real multiplayer aspect in it, I mean, holy shit, that's actually lowering the bar further than I thought possible.
Yeah, basically EA was probably like, hey, Visceral, how the hell are we supposed to make shitloads of more money after the initial release of the game if there aren't things to unlock and show off to people online, or ways to give your character an advantage over another player? Why would anyone pay to look cool or have an advantage when no one else, aside from their mom or their shitty friends, are gonna potentially see it? Canceled! Pack your shit and get the fuck out! How dare you try to create a story-based single-player game?
Yeah.
The original, much more calm and thought-out statement provided by EA regarding the shuttering of the studio, it read as follows.
Our Visceral Studio has been developing an action-adventure title set in the Star Wars universe. In its current form, it was shaping up to be a story-based linear adventure game. Throughout the development process, we have been testing the game concept with players, listening to the feedback about what and how they want to play, and closely tracking fundamental shifts in the marketplace. It has become clear that to deliver an experience that players will want to come back to and enjoy for a long time to come, we needed to pivot the design.
Ooh.
Don't ever say pivot around anyone that works in tech.
It's a red flag.
Yeah.
So obviously that is just straight up finely crafted PR speak, and although it was still an outrage to fans who would have the audacity to lie about actually wanting a game like this, at least they had said something to cool the burn that they had just caused. Fast forward to this week though, and the blunt truth has come out thanks to an investor presentation at a tech conference in Arizona.
You can't lie to investors. You can lie to children.
It's too hot to lie in Arizona. EA's chief financial officer, Blake Jorgensen, he addressed the issue with Visceral Games to investors, letting them know the real reason why everything was scrapped. The statement was covered by DualShockers.com, who quoted what they had heard.
It used to be a Dane Cook fan site. Now they cover video games.
DualShockers.com.
Here's what they said. The studio was trying to build a game that, quote, really pushed gameplay to the next level, but Electronic Arts kept reviewing it. It continued to look at a much more linear game that people don't like as much today as they did 5 years ago or 10 years ago. While the economic calculation is never easy to do, the publisher came to the conclusion that they probably wouldn't be able to recoup the cost of creating the game, so they made the tough decision to shut down the studio. At the moment, they're looking at what can be done with parts of the game that were already developed, whether it's making the title in a different style with a different studio or reusing those parts in other games. They continued, saying in their report that Jorgensen also added that the publisher tries to do this kind of operation as early as possible in development when things don't work out, and they probably let this go a little further, but ultimately they had to realize that they have to cut the bridge when you realize can't make a lot of money on something, which is why they decided to close the studio.
So yeah, it appears that just like with fucking everything else in entertainment, it comes down to money. Fat stacks. And sorry, little dipshits, but if studio isn't going to make money on something, they're not gonna keep doing it, no matter how hard you cry. Because although it would be fucking awesome, your tears don't hold any monetary value. We can find salt in a lot of places.
Yeah, there's a whole city of it in a lake. It's dried up, and Mormons live there. And it's really weird. Yeah.
Yeah, business is literally make the easiest thing that can sell for the most and keep doing that over and over and over again. Why do you think mobile games are so successful? Why the hell do you think we're on the 50th Call of Duty game? And why do you think we've seen the same Star Wars movie 8 times? Also, Porgs and BB-8 and everything cute, they all exist so they can sell them to fucking kids. And they know that 20-something cunts who ironically mock them online are actually just doing Disney marketing for free.
They got you.
Bazinga.
Well, let's move on. Oh shit, never mind. This next story is about EA too. Fuck. All right, look. If you thought Star Wars Battlefront was an egregious display of skullfuckery from a company desperate to take advantage of your wallet in exchange for some upgraded skills, weapons, and characters, wait till you get a fat load of their latest entry for the UFC. EA's UFC 3, which is apparently in beta, has apparently taken things to a whole new level. And you think, when you say whole new level, you think up. Nope, down.
Oh.
And yeah, it's still in beta, and they've since clarified some things, but here, let's just take a look at some select quotes about the microtransaction system for UFC 3 in this write-up from AstuteGaming.com.
Gamers will feel a sense of a pride and accomplishment. No, they didn't say that.
No.
The fundamentals, striking, grappling, and submissions can all be significantly improved with the purchase of rare boosters acquired solely through loot crates. These loot crates don't just contain different techniques or abilities, they promote maneuvers that outright boost player statistics in moment-to-moment competition. Every single technique, ability, fighter, and stat roll is entirely acquired and upgraded through the loot box system. A brand new player fresh out of the tutorials can dump $1,000 into the game, acquire the rarest loot drops, and immediately jump into online competition with a beastly custom fighter that has an exceedingly large health pool, vastly improved endurance, and substantially stronger strikes than the average player who simply pays the $60 price of admission. The higher the rarity of the item, the more significant the improvement overall. Pressing the square button to throw a punch at an opponent, quite literally the simplest and most obvious mechanic in an MMA game, perfectly exemplifies the absurdity of the microtransactions in question. A base level jab will do minimum damage to online opponents. However, a fighter that purchases a loot box and acquires a 5-star rarity level jab will not only have a more efficient and powerful technique in combat, but will also be treated to a host of stat increases in all regards, making the player undeniably better in every scenario.
Wow.
Jesus Christ.
So yeah, holy shit, right? Now, even a few months or years ago, this would have been considered unbelievable. But EA has slowly been chipping away at what we all thought was acceptable for years, and now look where we're at. Now for their part, we're unbiased here, we gotta give EA their say. They issued a response to people's reactions to this, and they tried to calm their fears. Now here's what they said to IGN. Our matchmaking logic takes fighters' attributes, moves, boosts, and perks into account and prioritizes matching players with similarly upgraded fighters in addition to player skill. The goal is to prevent uneven matchups as much as possible. Furthermore, the game features online ranked championships and unranked online quick match for competitive and casual head-to-head online play.
So that basically sounds like two things. Spend a bunch of money to beat the everlasting fuck out of your shitty poor friends in an unranked mode, which they should change the name of to Dominate the Poor Kids mode. Or the alternative, spend a bunch of money only to be pitted against other rich assholes of a similar level, thus making the entire fucking thing pointless mode.
Yeah.
I mean, bravo EA, once again, they're basically, you're the sacrificial lamb for other gaming companies to follow in their quest to be the biggest scumbags on earth.
Yeah.
EA does it, people still buy their games, and that allows the other companies to put stuff in that's almost as bad, but just not full-blown pay to win, and people will cheer for it.
Oh, look, they're not doing as bad as EA. They deserve my money. Enter Take-Two, the company who owns Rockstar Games and who makes GTA and Red Dead Redemption, which is going to have a sequel release sometime next year.
Oh, you wanted bullets for that gun?
Load up the credit card into the clip. Shooting bitcoins, baby. We're sure you're already probably well aware that GTA features a ton of microtransaction options via their Shark card system, and while it wouldn't be especially surprising that Red Dead 2 would feature some sort of system like this, we have no idea what to expect. With EA blazing the dusty trail for some pretty aggressive shit, it would only make sense for other huge companies to take note and follow their lead, albeit slightly less aggressively. Let EA be the one that gets their head cut off. We'll be right here behind you. Anyways, during a speaking engagement at an event for Credit Suisse, where you find out what these companies are really all about,
Money.
the president for Take-Two took a stance on the whole gambling aspect of loot boxes and microtransactions, and he said this.
We don't view that thing as gambling. Our view of it is the same as the ESA statement for the most part, so potential legislation's gonna play its course. But he also added that as long as they deliver what fans expect, they'll probably be fine, which, is essentially just admitting they do the bare minimum to meet expectations, but whatever.
You got the game!
Yeah. The quote is, in terms of the consumer, the noise you hear in the market right now, it's all about content and over-delivering on content. It's about making sure you're focused on engagement, and I think that has been our strategy. That has been our focus, and as long as you keep your eye on that ball, you're gonna be okay. The consumer's going to be really happy with what they get.
Thank you for game. Anyways, speaking of consumers lowering their expectations, lowered expectations. We're finally seeing some of the first concessions that will need to be made for the console release of PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds on Xbox. Despite an earlier report confirming that the game would run at 60 frames per second on the Xbox One X with a reduction to 30 frames per second on other versions of the console, they have updated everyone and said that the game will, in fact, be locked to just 30 frames per second across all Xbox consoles.
I can't believe it. What?
Who could have seen this coming?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's true. Not even that beefy, vaped up One X that you dropped all that money on. That one won't even be rocking this game any better than the others. Potentially, maybe there's better graphics, the draw distance, the shadows look nicer. I don't know.
More bushes.
We haven't seen the proof of that yet. This is just the first initial confirmation about what's being held back from the PC build. So the snowball starts. Wow. And the map is only 30 meters wide. It's actually just a boxing ring. Get your pans out, kids.
I love gang beasts.
Yeah.
And again, the thing about this, that's just like the PC version, this isn't the official release. The game is starting out in preview early access, so they're gonna be tinkering away at making the game as good as possible. And with that fat bankroll from Microsoft, I guess anything's possible, especially for the Xbox One X, because goddamn, that console really needs to win right now if they want to move a massive amount of units at some point.
I feel like Microsoft's shooting themselves in the foot because they reduced the price on the One S, which is 4K compatible for movies and stuff, to like extremely
$300.
So if you're standing there, even as a person who has a little bit of money to spend on something, it's like, do I really want to spend $300 more?
So what's so good about it?
Oh, you're saying it's enhanced graphics? Okay, what games are enhanced? Oh, I have to download enhancement packs, and what can you explain to me exactly? So it looks a little bit better? I just can't.
When I was a kid, I spent my hard-earned money on a RAM upgrade for my Nintendo 64 because they sold that, and it didn't do jack fucking shit. That's how I feel about this.
Yeah.
But anyway, regardless, it's time to get someone in here who will never give you up, who will never let you down, who will not turn around and desert you. Shibby Criminal, which is now his official name thanks to a recent court filing that we sent over without his permission.
Yeah.
What?
He's here to tell you all about one of the greatest video game characters of all time and his fall from grace.
Hey, Shibby, what does your wife think about being Mrs. Criminal now?
Doesn't look good in the USD or US, whatever.
Shut up.
School district, UCLA. I don't know. I'm drunk. Let's go.
What else do you do? You look like Weeb Howard Stern. Baba Booey, Baba Booey.
You'd think I'm drinking G Fuel. This is pure vodka.
Baba Booey, Goku's penis.
Tugs boys and Tugs girls, a miss swiping the credit card for power and progression advantage in electronic arts games. Cough, UFC 3. I checked out a recent release from our old pal Sonic the Hedgehog.
Hey, did you write cough and forget to actually cough? Or?
I got hair in my mouth. I'm struggling over here, bruh. Being only a few years older than Sonic's initial video game release myself, he's been a real pal that I've grown up alongside. A bit nostalgic for me. How do you girls do this? Ugh. Unlike some of you tweens in your sociology class, it's okay. You'll learn to eat ass and like it. So we have a new 3D Sonic game because the other handful were super awesome, right? I mean, Sonic Mania was good value and the PC port actually works. Sonic Mania actually has some decent physics and platforming. That means Sonic is on the up and up, right? And I should blindly buy whatever Sega puts out, right? Wrong. Wrong. Sonic forces his shit across all platforms, even on your precious Nintendo Switch. No longer Dr. Robotnik because kids don't like doctors. He's Eggman. Sonic is now a high school Twitter account memer with dumb quips because he's edgy and cool with spiky hair. The Sonic I knew was into feet and not such a whiny little bitch. I feel dirty just playing this game because Sonic is no longer old school. He's now just a child shitlord. I don't care about making my own edgy looking Sonic character with headphones and G Fuel looking like some Splatoon fuckboy. Splatoon. I don't care that my custom character runs alongside Sonic in some levels while all the other known or not well-known Sonic characters show up and drop a few lines and dip. I just want solid gameplay mechanics and not in the platforming to be fun, but it's not. How the fuck does Dr. Eggman take over the planet when his army of minions are dumb as rocks, arrange themselves as bowling pins that you plow them like a porn film, and the super dope death robot that Eggman built has the typical weakness like the goddamn Death Star? Say. This game has bad hazards, short stages, and is not as consistent of a game that literally just came out, that being Sonic Mania. Sonic Forces is basically the new Marvel Infinity trailer, but edgy high school characters circle jerking in a dumpster. This game is bad, and Sega should feel bad. I'm not taking your money, Sega. 0 out of 10.
Wow, thanks, Chips. But let's hear from a real expert. This review comes to us from Amazon user Impacted :
Oh, I love that guy.
who titled their review of Sonic Unleashed for the Xbox 360. Sonic is fast at going downhill. Let's see what Impacted : had to say about this classic game.
Oh, it's in all caps.
Yeah.
Every time Team Sonic comes close to creating something special, they screw it up with stupid ideas that make no sense whatsoever. A werehog? Why would anyone buy a Sonic game thinking, you know what, this Sonic game's really good, but what would really make it great is if Sonic gets turned into an unbelievably slow-trotting hairball that drags on like stories from a senile old grandma who doesn't get any attention. If they would have just kept the formula that made Sonic a success, fast-scrolling 2D levels, level after level of 2D speed and adrenaline-pumped action. The original Sonic was rated with 9s and 10s. Sonic for the Neo Pocket received 9s and 10s, and Sonic Rush received 9s and 10s. Every other game never made above a 6. Why? Because Team Sonic clutters the games with stupid towns and pointless conversations with retarded townsfolk about freaking ice cream, or you can advance to a slow-trotting stage with a dumb idea. Werehog. That doesn't belong in a game that's supposed to be based on speed. Get rid of Silver, Shadow, Amy, and anyone who isn't Sonic or Tails. Get rid of anything that is not screaming, raging, roller coaster speed fest. You'll have a winner, just like the golden release of Sonic 1 and 2. Team Sonic. Give us side-scroller boards with loops and breakneck speed, and stop your imagination right there. If this game had no towns or people and had 40 more side-scroller boards with no nighttime crawlers with a dumb werehog, this game would have been a 10. Instead, I have to give it a 1. Get Team Sonic to build the levels and Team Mario to fix the freaking camera, and then you'll get a 10. All you did was just make Sonic fans angry. And I swear I'll never take another look at a Sonic game ever again. 1 star. Update 2 years later. I've still not looked at another Sonic game since I wrote this review. Up yours, Sonic.
He gave his own update.
Vote with your wallet.
What's up, Impacted : fans? I'm back with an update to my famous Sonic the Hedgehog review.
The one you've all been waiting for. Guess what? I have yet to play another Sonic game.
Yeah.
And
Not as long as that werehog's still around.
And they clapped. Anyways, we can't live stream on this channel anymore if you haven't seen the previous videos. So make sure to follow us on Twitch. twitch.tv/etc_show. Also me and Elliot stream. Elliot, what's your stream?
Twitch.tv/ELIOTETC.
And I'm twitch.tv/ITSRICKYFTW. Links below. Watch our most recent videos. We have an episode about tech news that's sad. And then we also have an update to that YouTube drama where kids are being exploited. Bad YouTube.
Bad.
And you ban us? Fuck you.
Yeah.
Hey.